Is it working? Testing. Going live. Anyone? Oh, yes. We are on Twitch. And YouTube. Yes. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going to put on... It sounds like I can hear myself. So let me just check the levels. That sounds good. Alrighty. So, what we have here is, let me make sure that this all looks good. What we have here is a model that I've been working on for the last about 3-4 hours. Actually, about 3 hours altogether so far. Totally from scratch, except for the fingers, or yeah, hands. That's the only thing I didn't model. I just got that out of the Oculus medium human pack. I'm trying to basically sculpt as much from scratch, but I'm also not against using some good, basic models to start with. To like kit bash a little bit. Anyway, so welcome to my stream. I'm Jim, and I have Unicron Studios as my little company, and I'm working on these for as fine art pieces. They're a little cartoony right now, but I'll probably get them to look more like the artwork that I created a couple years ago. And that artwork is sort of a homage to Greek and almost proto Etruscan Greek period pieces, as far as like understanding human form and also trying to create them in sculptural form. They tend to have very interesting boxy kind of narrow noses. The bridges of their noses and depicted in the sculptures are usually a little straight, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm going to do these as automatons or androids that are sort of falling into an emotional state with each other. So I actually intend to make not only a sculpture here to 3D print it, but I would like to actually basically create a functioning automaton that will move and reproduce an emotional state as I've laid out in my animatic, or I've drawn little frame by frame, this is what I would like it to do, or rotations and that kind of thing in some of my other notes. Anyway, so if you follow me on Instagram, I've got, every time I go live, I'm going to try to make a habit of posting my source art for the night, and then you can see where I'm going with it as the night progresses. So we're already kind of into night 2 now, and I'm going to give her a male partner, because I'm cis, hetero, male, so male-female relationship, I know that. So that's what I'm doing as an automaton. Not to say that I couldn't try to explore other things, but that's what I'm more comfortable in understanding from a personal perspective as an artist. Anyway, so this is kind of probably not safe for kids. So I mean, it's not like there's going to be any pornographic stuff on the stream. It's all going to be think of it as you're taking the kid to the museum. It's that kind of stuff. So it's not like there'll be no penetration or any of that kind of shit. So without that or further ado, blah blah blah, please follow me on Twitch or on YouTube. Hopefully that's how you got here in the first place. I don't know who I'm talking to otherwise. Anyway, so yeah, follow me there, and I'll give you notifications by way of those streaming services and or Instagram. I'm Jim Zello on Instagram, and you can come to my website and send me your email address. I would like to actually keep a list of people who are interested in stuff, and eventually if I get enough people, I will start offering these models as sort of giveaways and all kinds of cool stuff if I do Patreon. But anyway, I'm going to have a little bit of a drink. Woo, a little strong. That is some strong tea. Alright, Where did my... Oh, of course, everything went off. Well, that's great. So I was actually planning on, like, watching the live stream, and all of that disappeared. So much for all that planning that I did. Alright, let me see if I can grab some of this. Yeah, sorry everybody on the stream, I have to... No, do not quit the app. No, fuck up. Wonderful. Well, that happens. God, that sucks. Alright, sorry that I have to restart. I had everything set up. I even did some modeling, which I think I probably just lost. God, that's aggravating. Alright, anyway. I don't even know why that popped up, but... This is why live streaming and me don't quite mix yet, because it's really effing frustrating sometimes. Alright, anyway. Let's get back. I can barely see up there. Oh my crap. Come here. Alright, so I'm like stabbing in the dark, literally stabbing in the dark here, because there are things that are not working properly. Hello. Okay, I can't take anything out of that. Fuck. So everything I had just planned to do on the stream has just completely gone to shit, because I apparently can only open this one fucking window and keep it pinned. I don't understand. Yep, it's now just totally not letting me do what I was going to do. Alright, I will have to keep all of my streams and everything up here, off to the side. Sorry, I have to look over here for just a bit. We're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Alright. Oh, no, not viewer list. I just want to fucking pop up the video. Just, yeah. Alright. So I'm trying to pop out windows, like if anybody ever even joins the stream, I'll be able to see them talking at me, which would be cool. But for some reason when I go into Oculus Rift, as soon as I start streaming, everything breaks down within within VR. So I'm looking at things, and I have to, I'm sorry, I have to get out of VR for a second, because, yeah. Alright, hold on, bear with me. This is like damage control. I have to literally stop what I'm doing and go back into reality. Yes, I'm a moderator. Pop out, please, yes. Okay, and then I'll pop out the other thing. Like, there are probably programs that allow you to do all this stuff, but I am really new to streaming, so you'll have to bear with me as I'm getting used to stuff. And if you have any, if you're like on the stream right now and you have any kind of like suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Come on, done. Pop out chat. Can we do that? Enable. Nope. See, it's funny because there's like a gear icon on YouTube, and you hit that and it's not the right thing to pop it out. It's the opposite of what is on the Twitch stream. I swear they're doing this stuff to fuck with me. Alright, pop out chat. Yes, okay, we have popped out both of our chats. Okay, and I'm sure that everything's working audio-wise. Hello, I'm a person, human. Hello. Okay, it's the all singing, all living shit show. Alright, back to virtual reality. Okay. And of course all that stuff is gone. Now that I've made some adjustments. Oops. No, do not quit the fucking app. Why do you keep asking me that? I hate that. Alright, sorry. And of course you guys don't see what I'm seeing, so it's like, I mean, you see what I'm working on, but you don't see like all these crazy little, hey, would you like to quit the app? You just spent the last 20 minutes. It's like, that's literally why I'm on late tonight, is because I've been like setting everything up with new apps and all kinds of cool stuff for you guys to see, and nothing is working. Everything's been going wrong. So let me attempt to, yes, can I show that? Can I look at the desktop? Yes, thank you. And I'm going to do that. And where's the desktop? Fuck. Okay, there it is. Whew. All right, can I put that over there? No. Can put nothing. Nothing you want to do, Jim. Yes, you get the one picture and the two chats, and that's what you got. So I'm going to try to resize this. No, that's not what I wanted to open. Okay. All right. So I can kind of see words that are going to be chat. If anybody talks to me, I can kind of see what they're going to say. Kind of. Okay. All right. I should be able to catch out of the corner of my eye. I have a picture from Instagram that I'm going by. That's something I posted earlier tonight. Okay. Pin that. Yes. Good. All right. I think everything is ready. So now I have to go back and make up for lost time. Because okay, so I'm just going to load last, and maybe what I did was saved. No. It was not. Alright, well, here she is. Oh, wait. Nope, totally not saved. Okay, well, that's a fine thing. Yeah, I feel like I'm risking it now, but I'm going to put some music on for myself to listen to, because everything else will get flagged. Or I could just get some like regular listeners or watchers, and then I don't have to worry about being flagged. YouTube is a bitch. Twitch does not remove the audio until later, I think. I don't think they do it on the fly. But anyway. So I'm listening to a Spotify playlist, and if you follow me on my personal Jim Enziello at Facebook, you can follow me on Spotify too. That way you can hear what I'm listening to. But I will endeavor not to listen to, or not to sing aloud to any Donald Fagen's. Not that I know any of his lyrics really, but yeah. So that's what I'm listening to right now. Okay, cool. So having another drink because I need to not be so stressed out. God, really wish I had a chaser. So I'm having some rye and gin and delicious maraschino cherries and all right. Anyway, and I'm fogging up now. Jeez, nothing's going. Okay, hold on. Man, the future is not as simple as I thought. All right. Woo. Let's pick up where we left off. Alright, still nobody in the picture in the thing. That's okay. Alright, so I am going to do a character, another guy. He's going to be in this picture. And let me actually just go back one. Refresh the page. Yes, okay, we have a male figure in that picture. So I'm going to probably go off that guy. Unfortunately, you can't see what I'm looking at. So let me just move this down a little. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I have to. Come on. Okay, there we go. I'm just got to move it over here. Okay, now where you can see, I'm putting it right above where I'm working, so I can actually look up. And I probably won't look up too much because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, so not to be too frenetic, I have to remember to do that because I can talk with my hands, but I can't talk with my head. And that's one of the problems I've noticed is on the stream, this stuff moves around too much. So, alright, I'm good. That is going to stay in one place. Great, okay, now I can get to work. So let's go take a look. We'll make a new layer. And we'll call that, it's a man. And what's a man? Alright, got the man layer. Human. And on this layer now, I can do stuff. Oh, that's interesting. So it automatically put it in the chrome like her hair, so I need to not have that. So how... Question is, did I actually put it on the right layer? Yes. Okay, that is on the man layer. Need to... Where is the new... Let me change... Oh shit, I forgot how I did that. Alright. So let's see. Going into this... I don't... Wait, maybe I do that? Ooh. Yes, there... Okay, I can barely make that out. Okay, so you just select it, and then you can change stuff like metalness. So I'm going to turn the metalness down. Alright, diffuse light, turn that down. So metal, default. Diffuse light, okay. So I guess you have to switch it to, oh, okay, so if you want to do emissive, you go there. That gives you the strength of the emissive, which will be like glowing. I don't want that. And this is if you're in metal, so you select the metal mode and you get different roughness, like total chrome. And occlusion, I was just explaining to my student today about occlusion. Diffuse light, okay, so that gives you more like the Black Mirror surface. Black Mirror. Good show. So I want to go back to default. So that gives me a nice default. So that's not going to undo. But let me get out of here. Okay, so whoop. All right, this is my working space. And I am going to move off to the side here. So as you're working, it's easier to work in a, what's it called? Symmetry. Okay, so we're gonna do symmetry. So I gotta turn on the okay, nope, not that. Symmetry, there it is. Okay, good. Now I will attempt to do a male character. And I'm fogging up again. I got too far away. So I actually have my fan like as a cross thing over here, so I can, if I'm in the right spot, I think I'll actually be appearing on stream. Hold on, let me check that. Oh yeah, I can't see the stream anymore. Hold on. Here. Bear with me as I'm working with all these fucking things that have to be done just right. So it's kind of cute, kind of complicated. Okay. And so I'll just put that down there. Cool. All right. There, now I can see my own stream. Let's see if my head's in the right spot. Now, so much better. Donald Fagen's kicking it. I got a nice drink. Nobody's in the chat room, but that's fine. We're all just learning about stuff. Okay, so we are going to do a, let's do head first. Just put him over here. And let's get over here. Okay. Oops. Oh. Just gonna make sure I'm in the right spot. Good. All right. Alright, so I found that just getting a basic feel for the character at first. Oops, yeah, we're doing symmetry. Good. Okay. So I'm just going to pull stuff around and play with it here. So actually, both of these characters are kind of like teenager. It's sort of that teenage love. Hormones are going crazy at that time. I'd say it's actually kind of maybe like young adult. So they're not young adult. They're what, 19, 20? They're in the 20s, early 20s. Or they're just fit 30-year-olds. I don't know. People get older and they're looking fine. So love is love. So whatever age they are, they're androids, so really they're not quite on our same. They could probably be living quite a long time compared to us. In fact, I have a story idea where the androids are actually kind of like, I wouldn't call them matchmakers because they are sort of friends of the humans that they hang out with. And I haven't quite figured out whether or not it should be like a binary thing, where if like you're, say, identifying as a male, cis, heterosexual guy, you would have a female sort of android partner, friend, sister kind of character. I don't know, but in the book basically, or in the story, I don't think it's going to be a book yet, but in the story basically, you kind of hang out with these entities, and they sort of record your like what you like and what you don't like, and they're there with you as like a companion that can help you out in the world. So it's sort of like somewhere between a friend and like a professional secretary to help you on everyday tasks, or maybe not something that formal, just like a friend, like a Teddy Ruxpin or something, or my buddy, to get all 80s. And for those of you who are zygotes, or not even that in the 80s, basically it would be like somebody there to help you out as a android partner in crime, or hopefully not in crime, but you know, that under itself might be an interesting story. Like, oh, they were hanging out with their android, and they committed a crime together. Oh, well, there's all kinds of new crime syndicates that could occur, all kinds of interesting stuff. Anyway, getting back to like the emotional and relationship related stuff. So what if you've got this world that that you have your android friends, your android partners, and they're not your sex partners or your love partners or anything like that. That they have their own, they have programming, but I wouldn't say that they're quite sentient yet. That would come later, and we have to figure that out when we get to it. But and I'm sure there's a good Futurama episode that deals with that. But yeah, so basically the idea is like, okay, you've got your friend that you hang out with all the time, and maybe they are hanging out with you in a public area, and there's places where you're going to be hanging out socially. Maybe your androids could be a sort of a matchmaker, because they could hang out with other androids in like an android waiting area, and that area could be all about just mingling source data to get better ideas of how to hang out with humans. And so in the process of doing that, they might actually meet another android that is somewhat compatible with them. So whatever criteria that could be. So that compatibility might be sort of an emergent behavioral thing, like an AI, not AI, but a generative emergent behavior model. And so, like, what if we take that emergent behavior and we allow for these random android encounters to essentially rise to, hey, I think you're a really cool android, says one android to another, and they chat and they seem to be compatible. And the reason why they are finding compatibility is because most of their personality quotient is sort of like a match to their the user, that the human that they are sort of paired up with. So essentially they could act as sort of a matchmaker for the humans that are actually hanging out in the place at the same time. So at that point, the two androids can go over and try to round up their human companions, human friends, and essentially introduce the humans to each other. For maybe they're working on a project or something, and they're looking for partners to join them up with. All kinds of stuff could be happening in that, as an interplay between people who are just randomly going out to do something. So I'm I don't know how likely this is to happen. That this is speculative fiction story that I'm telling. But so that's an idea, and I think it would be kind of cool, because so imagine you meet somebody by way of your android introducing you to them. And the two androids are also going to be hitting it off, because they had parameters that were kind of closely aligned in some way, and so that might lend itself to those androids actually being able to share some of their source with each other. And so it's kind of like a mutually beneficial pairing between two friends and two androids. And so, now bear with me, this is getting a little out there, a little out in the field, but so emotionally, humans they have all kinds of systems that are going on in their mind, and that makes them somewhat unpredictable, so you don't always know how the relationships are going to go. But the androids pretty much are going to be, whatever you program or whatever you give them as a starting point. They're not going to act outside of that, outside of the parameters of what they're allowed to do. So they'll just take the cues from the humans at that point as to what their next steps are to be. I mean, they could also be doing this in larger groups, where it's not just like, oh, they're obviously going to be a pair, like a dating couple or anything like that. They could just be all friends and out partying. So you don't have to actually, like, let me scale this up. You don't actually have to have everything resolve into, okay, this is definitely a mating pair and these two are going to go off and have children and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So in this world, or in this social interaction / androids, the androids could basically wait for the cues, wait for the social cues. Like, okay, if they're like if the couple of people that got together, the two people, let's just say two people, that would make it a little less complicated than to have like three people or more, because I'm not going to be doing that. It's nothing I'm writing about. I'm not into that. But yeah, so if the two people seem like they're getting on really well together, and they've decided to become a thing, then the two androids can start sharing their profiles in what they have learned from their users together, and start sort of sharing it and being sort of very open source with each other about sharing those concepts of well, my friend here, my human friend, likes to do these things, and I like to accompany them on these little treks. And so if the other user does like that, then the other android will also like that, because you just have to have them go. I mean, they're probably already paired up in a way together anyway, because I'm thinking these androids are like getting to know their human companions from pretty much early childhood development and stuff. They might have actually helped them like learn their ABCs or some really basic stuff. I mean, we'd still want to have actual teachers, but so these androids can be sort of like tutor type people or things. Oops. This mouth figure is actually going a lot faster. All right. But I think he's too. I wish I could scale him up all at once. I can't do that. All right. I could scale him up this way, but I can't actually like change the scale, because I don't think he's quite matching up with the female. Let's see. And he's a little bigger, so I need to fix that. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Maybe there's a utility here that I haven't seen yet. Nope. Alright, well, Oculus Medium people, that would be a helpful thing to have. A universal scaling thing that won't fuck up the symmetry. Well, let me try that one more time. I'll go here. Oh, wait. Not that. Okay, let's see here. I just want to select that. Yeah. I'm afraid. Let's see, that is move. Okay, well, I just want to scale the whole thing uniformly. Is there any way to do that? Okay, there we go. Woof! Alright, I will have to write to Dear Oculus User Medium Forums. I have a problem. Alright. sculpting. This is actually very similar to ZBrush's Sculptress, because you don't have to worry about topology. You just can pull stuff out so fast and easy. And not that I'm going to go away from ZBrush. ZBrush has some really awesome tools in it, but it was on Saturday that I really discovered Medium's awesome thing. So we over at the IST, Institute for Simulation and Training at UCF, we went over to the stadium, which I think we're ranked now. I don't give a shit about football, but we're ranked now, like #1 or some shit like that. And we have this beautiful sculpture of a horse and a knight with a lance and everything. And so that's basically, we scanned that with like our handheld Artex scanner. And unfortunately, some of those scans were on the laptop, and we tried Dropboxing or using Google something, and I could not pull down the massive amount of files needed to reconstruct it. But actually, a friend in another department has a really cool different type of scanner. So Artec is good for close-up stuff. It's a structured light scanner, which uses a bunch of like series of lines that go across the surface, and it gives you a nice close-up detail, especially if you do it by handheld slowly over the object. So we had some of that, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to make a full thing. But we have a laser scanner, which is much more expensive, and it has a tripod, and you stick it out in front of stuff. And so I basically took that point cloud data into Autodesk's Remake Pro, or Recap Pro, and turned it into a mesh, which, having worked from that kind of data before to make a massive game for the military in Unreal, which was really cool. I did not realize that we could have grabbed mesh instead of point cloud. We could have actually turned all that point cloud to a colorized mesh, which kind of pissed me off that nobody mentioned that, and like over at the place I worked. Like, that would have saved some time, a little bit, I think. And I remember some of the customers like coming, some of the generals and stuff were like, "Oh, well, couldn't you just take that like colorized data that you got there and turn it to mesh and make it a video game?" And people are like, "Oh, well, no, can't do that." But actually, you can. I mean, it's not going to look that good, but I mean, it's a good starting point for modeling. I mean, in some relations, it is like if you had like really complicated hoses and stuff, and you had a good scan of it all. You could bring that all, point cloud could be turned to mesh, then you could bring it into ZBrush, and then you could remesh it, and then you could get the lines off of it. So all those lines and routing and stuff, you could actually get that from an edge loop, which would have been awesome. So, hot tip. I just laid out like a digital production pipeline thingy. All right, back to work. Oops. Alright, as I said before, sometimes it's easier to just grab your toolbox and shove something in from your toolbox into the sculpture. I don't know where I was going with that, but it was starting to sound a little nasty. You just grab it and shove it. Male right hand. Okay, there we go. Make that a positive right hand. Not a red right hand. A red right hand. But a green one. Alright, let me just place that ever so. Nope. Nope. Come on. Oh, okay, there it is. You move it to the right, and then you. Okay, so you're going to just Nope. Oh, right or left, apparently, on the stick. And then you reduce the size by pulling it down, or increase it by pushing it up. Okay, let me just make sure that this is the right scale. Oops, too small, too big. Just right, I think. Just make sure it's not going to... What? Who is... I'm hearing some crazy talk on my headphones. Ah, come on, just be fucking still. Alright, I gotta change this to surface. Okay, that hopefully will work. What? Ah, no, that's not at all what I wanted. All right, I'll just take it out of that mode because surface mode apparently doesn't work too well when you... Oh, actually now my steady ass hand is much steadier when it's bigger. I keep forgetting that. Okay, yeah, one of the things about working in VR is you make it really big and you get a lot more control over it. Except when it looks like that. All right, let me try that one more time and then I'm going to increase resolution. Okay, that looks like crap. So I gotta increase the resolution. Increasing resolution. Alright, and I'm also gonna save this right now, because I didn't save it before and then I fucked it up. Okay, save as Ma TOS. Yes, automatons number 2. Because there are 2 of them. Alright. So I'm going to... What am I going to do next? I'm going to turn off this... Whatever the hell music has... the music has gone haywire. Let's change the music because I cannot handle whatever is going on here. Let us switch up to it's the 80s question mark. Alright, so I have switched on the Spotify playlist, if you follow me, to It's the 80s playlist, which my ex made up. And Brittany actually has a stream somewhere. I should check that out one of these days. She's really cool. So, highly recommend if you love Critical Role and D&D in general, follow Brittany. Oh shit, I don't know what she's calling herself now. So, if anybody has any questions about that, I will refer you to her and her channel. I think she is actually doing some streaming stuff now. Really cool gal. Perfect. Wait, hands too big? Hands are way too big. Eee. Alright, let's reduce that size a bit. Scale it up so I can see what we're doing. How's that size for us? Ooh, yeah, that looks much better. I just need to change that angle. Okay. Alright. Good enough. I'm gonna fix these wonky looking ass feet. You have ass feet. It's congenital. Nope. Come on. That's better. So if you check out my last stream, I actually explain a little bit about 3D printing for voxels and voxel printing, and the fact that I'm currently working in Medium, which uses a voxel-based system, is very cool, and I'm hoping to make to make a contact out to the people at Medium, because I have my coworkers and my boss actually are very interested in using Oculus Medium to either repair models and or create new things on a voxel basis, and also bring in, this is the really cool part, bring in things like MRIs, MRIs that have color data associated with what type of body part it is. There's this thing called the Hounsfield scale that all MRIs read out to, and it lets you know if you're looking at bones or if you're looking at blood vessels or fat and other types of tissue. And I was thinking it'd be really cool if we could import that kind of slice data and generate mesh off of it that can be interacted with like this. Because from an educational perspective, being able to turn on and off layers and adjust stuff is just the beginning of how cool this stuff could be. Because if you can take voxel data and bring it in here, to manipulate it, clean it up, there's a lot of things you can do with that. And I'm talking about, right now there's only one other company called Materialize, I believe, or Mimics. They have a couple of different names for the program, and it has a very high-end algorithm-based system that allows you to plot things like bronchioles inside a lung, the different lobes of a lung, the different sections of a heart, all from MRI data, and it's FDA approved for doing things like reconstruction and joints and that kind of stuff. So not quite, we don't need that level of perfection, because let's say we had an organ that we wanted to see a path to, like through around bones or around arteries and stuff. Arteries, bones, and organs are generally going to be pretty much where they are in the MRI, and you don't have to be millimeter, sub-millimeter accurate, because surgery isn't based on that when you're doing like a 3D display of it. Or if you wanted to, say you wanted to actually cut into it and feel what it would be like to do the surgery on it, the current methods are, you have these things called phantoms, which are essentially just silicon, there's silicon models that you can work on and actually practice your injections and your cutting and that kind of thing. But with 3D printing, that's all going to change, and I would love to see Medium totally jump on this horse and start either Oculus themselves could create an interchange format for voxels, because there are things called voxel printers like the Stratasys J750 that need to have, there's a dreadful problem right now, because what I'm working on right now is a voxel, but when I print it out, or when I get it out to send to my 3D printer, it becomes a hollow shell, like literally a hollow shell video game model. If I do any color on the surface, it's color on the surface only. It is not all the way through. So watch the last video I did about modeling in the shell versus modeling in the voxel, which is the volumetric pixel. It's hopefully a good primer to what I'm talking about right now. All right, so I'm gonna shut up about that and move on, because I have nobody said, "Hey Jim, shut up! You're talking too much. You're crazy artist. You're talking a whole bunch, and I don't know what you're talking about." Oops. Nope. Alright, so feeling a little wonky about, I got a penis right there. Oh, that's a little big. Alright. There's too much abdominal thing going on here, so let's take that down a little bit. Alright. So I want to be proportional to the rest of his body, and it wasn't quite proportional. So you got, what is this called? Oops. So you got a pelvis bone right about here. And pubis bone about here. Oops. That taint where I at? I just totally drove my controller into the desk. Alright, that's better. A little less detail. The butt actually was coming out really good. Like, her butt actually took a lot longer. Ooh, there is... Okay, that's a little bit too anatomically correct, but... Sorry. Sorry, Internet. Okay. So let's put a bit of a Ken bulge over here. I'll probably do actual like full geometry here, but it won't be on stream because I want it to be not well, I might be considered pornographic, so I don't want that to be too dangerous. So I'll just leave that till for my Patreon users. I don't know. I don't know where I'll try not to focus too much on the mystery of the thing. Gotta reset the... Nope, not that. Reset the tool. There we go. Alright, let me go, and I think I'll just pull this out using the move tool. And I'll just pull in here to pull... Yes, just pull some rib cage going. Yeah, give me some rib cage right there. There's some meaty rib cage you got there. Some good ribs. Gonna put some dry rub on there. Okay, that just went really dark. I swear I'm not a cannibal, even though I did have a comic that was about zombies. Running a Cajun cafe in New Orleans. Which, damn you, Fritz, wherever you are on the internet, you said you took that idea, even though I never saw it. And what? My battery's low. Come on. All right. Well, I guess that's time for me to shut up about ex-business partners and crappy webcomics. I actually was a really cool webcomic, but I have to I'm gonna save this shit. Hold on, let me save. Let me quick save. Okay. So while it's quick save, okay, that just totally quick saved. I guess that's why it's quick save. I'm gonna go and get new batteries from my left controller. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Gets hot in there. Actually, it's a good time to take a break, too. Alright, I'll be back with batteries and let it freshen up for the drink. Alright, drink back. Jim is here. So hello to my little friends. Where are they? Yeah, there. Alright. I always wonder, like, oh, they're not checking in because there's no pictures of things on the screen. Anyway. Short attention span theater. Let's see here. All right. Oof, excuse me. All right, there's one person watching, and I think it's me. Yes. Well, welcome any viewer that happens to pop by. I don't know. I guess I need to start advertising that this is happening, or maybe just nobody's interested. I don't know. I would like to think that I'm providing some kind of an interesting stream, but who knows? The Bob Ross of VR has not yet been made. So we will not know. There cannot be another Bob Ross. I mean, that he is a national treasure. Florida raised, or Florida, Florida. His grave's here in Florida. That's morbid. He's out in Gotha, Florida, which is just south of southwest of Orlando, where I live. Alright, let's get that in there, and this is the so-called bad, probably like not that bad, but bad enough to warrant complainage. Okay, let's get back to the streaming thing. Okay, I'm not offline, am I? Jeez, I hope not. Alright, well, it looks like I'm still streaming on YouTube. Who knows? I really don't, I mean, again, don't really know what I'm doing. I'll just put that away. Let me turn this up a little bit. I want to listen to some music a little bit louder. Oh shit, you can hear it through my headphones. I might get banned. Alright, putting on, having a drink. Oh, that's not any easier to drink than it was beginning. Woof! I think I made it stronger than the last time. Alright, here we are. Hey guys. Cool. You know, it would be really awesome if there was like some auditory things that would tell you, hey, you have a person who has entered the chat and would like to talk to you, but you have not paid attention to the chat room. Unfortunately, I have to pull that up somewhere. Hold on one more second, and I'll get back to the stream. Okay, there is that, and I'm just going to put that over here. And I need to be able to see my character. Okay. Now I can see everything. I have some fucking raging "It's the 80s but not really" music. Which follow me on Spotify to see what I'm listening to, because internet algorithms do not like me playing music that somebody should be paid for, even though honestly they're gonna hear it and they're like, oh shit, I need to listen to that, and then they would buy it, which is so dumb. Like, if you ask me. Anyway, nobody asked me. I'm just gonna shut up about that. Alright, here we go. His legs are way too small. What is going on with that? It's funny, like, if you go away from an art project and you come back and you look at it with fresh eyes, you're like, well, that doesn't fucking work. What was I thinking? That's not right at all, proportion-wise. So yeah, it's vitally important when you're working on stuff to, as I was saying in my last podcast, to check yourself against the model the model in your mind might not actually be accurate, and you might be making mistakes that you don't see because you haven't stepped away and come at it with a sort of an outside perspective or a more scientific perspective, or as like all the new gurus and in business like to say a novice perspective. He's looking at it from a novice's point of view, so therefore it's the genius flows in through all the pores, and then somehow the billions of dollars that we're throwing after him makes sense. Yeah, that's the ticket. Honestly, there are metrics that you can follow as far as like, oh, that game will be successful because it has certain unlocks and things that our user groups find enjoyable. So you put those in, and of course the game fucking sucks and fails horribly. So why is that? Well, because you can't go by a simple metric and expect it to perform like as a story, as a human created thing. And that is the failure of corporate America to understand intellectual property and why people are attracted to it. No, it's not because you have a certain amount of bells and whistles that are quantifiable, and therefore the metric can be approved by the board and say, yes, this is the kind of game that we want, because the users of games previously, and they should listen to their own bullshit, because one of the things in business they teach you is that past performance is not indicative of future results. So therefore, your loot boxes that you're putting in Star Wars do not necessarily mean that Star Wars is going to be a better game performance-wise, as far as performing to the stockholders, as you think it could be. Because that metric is not accounting for the fact that when I shoot at a fucking stormtrooper from 20 clicks away, with whatever weapon I have, it has no more accuracy than, I don't know, a flamethrower. It's an awful fucking game. I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on that, because I really like the original Battlefront, but the new Star Wars stuff, I'm nonplussed about it, really. I mean, from an artistic perspective, it is fucking amazing. I got on a speeder bike and was flying through Endor, and it was like I was actually in Endor, you know? Although I don't remember the Ewoks running around, now that I think about it. There was no NPC Ewoks, so that's kind of weird, that I remember. I remember their village, but I don't remember actually seeing any fluffy little Ewoks running around. That's kind of weird. Yeah, so what I'm getting at is the graphics are beautiful. Artwork is great. The teams that made the new Star Wars should be given accolades for that. If we actually had, you know, like an awards ceremony for qualities of products and production and whatnot, which we don't. I mean, we have GDC and we have all that sort of stuff, but you know what? We don't have a telecast of the Emmys where you see all the best game designers and artists and programmers from around the world meeting up to show off, or to not show off, but to be given accolades for the really hard fucking work they do. You know, I worked in the video game industry for 12 years, and I pulled my share of 40 hour, no, that's regular work week. I'm sorry, 70-hour work weeks. I did 70-hour unfucking paid work weeks, right? Because I live in Florida. It's a right to work for less money state because they don't have union shops. But let me not go. I'm gonna go down a bad path of like remorse and anger and you know, that dark side shit. So I'll try not to be a dark sider, but really honestly, there are some major problems in our publishing industrial complex when it comes to video games that I could tell you about if anybody had a question about that, but I won't go into that. So I'm just working on this thing, and it's looking a little lumpy, which is the name of a character from the Wookiee family, that is Chewbacca's. There's Lumpy, Itchy, and not that one, and Nala. Nala, Lumpy, and Itchy. Yes, George Lucas, you know what you were fucking writing, and you put it out there anyway. I don't know. Seems like it might have been a bad idea. Am I turning into Rick and Morty? I think I could be. Not Morty. More Rick. I need to get a little more droll here. Actually, now I'm starting to slur my words, so maybe this drink is working. Woo! Alright. So, let's not have a nameless, faceless ghoul here. Let's start making a beautiful boy. How's a beautiful boy? Oh. Hold on. I gotta adjust my artwork here. Because nobody's talking to me anyway. Alright. Now I can see it. Actually, opportune time to take a drink. Alright, everybody, on the stream, now's the time when we drink. Now is the time on Sprockets when we engage our liver. Okay. Let me move a little bit into focus here. Where's my fan? Okay, so the fan is telling me where... Okay, I already explained that earlier. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so we got this dude, and he's looking down lovingly at the lady in question. So first thing I need to do is give him a nose. Let's see here. Move. Nope. Clay. We'll do clay. Oh man, I love working on this. This is my favorite medium. So, my favorite medium is medium. I wonder if that's why they named it that. Block. I'll give him a block. So working in block reminds me of something in ZBrush. Where you're literally blocking it in. Hey-ho! It's Bert! No. Alright, yeah, so it's definitely got like a... It actually is kind of a little Muppety. Which reminds me, so one of our sort of cool locals, or at least for a while here in Orlando, is Heather Hansen. Heather Hansen, not Hansen like the climate change guy. Henson, like the Muppet guy. So the Muppets were created by Jim Henson, who was the same age as my dad, and my dad and Jim Henson actually got pneumonia at the same time. And my dad survived because he wasn't on the road. And unfortunately, Jim Henson died of septic shock, I believe. Which actually, if you look at the life of Harry Houdini, he was also on the road, and he had a magic trick. Not really a magic trick. It was sort of like a sleight of hand slash I'm a stunt man. And he had a thing where he could take a punch from anybody and not like pass out from it. And basically he could take a punch from anybody. So what happened was he basically took a punch from a guy, and the guy punched him right in the, what is it called? Right in the appendix. And his appendix ruptured the second the guy fucking punched him there. And basically, he was on the road, didn't have a doctor. I mean, you know, Harry Houdini's time for doctors probably wasn't the best. They're, as Bones from Star Trek would say, they're fucking butchers. Well, I wouldn't say fucking because it's not television. But, like, basically they were butchers, and he probably wouldn't have been diagnosed right anyway. But he was on the road, working really hard, and he was like, oh, I can handle it. It's just a little pain, you know, and he fucking died the next day, basically, from a ruptured appendix that had gone septic. And that's essentially what happens when you're like so engaged in your work and you don't pay attention to your body, and because you hadn't needed to up until that point. You know, like 40 years of training that you have said, or 50, whatever it was, 42. Oh fuck. Wait, I don't remember how old Jim Henson was when he died. But anyway, Yeah, so many years have gone by, and you have not needed to pay attention to your body, and you continue on with your work because you're so driven to do it. Which, as an artist, I've recently experienced exactly that, which includes heart palpitations, which turn out to be not as life-threatening as I was afraid they were. Although I'm still I'm reducing the amount of coffee I'm drinking. But anyway, that's my own personal thing. So yeah, like, you know, Jim Henson didn't know the warning signs that his pneumonia was possibly going to cause him to go septic, and I think that's how he died. And that made a major impact on me. So when I met Heather Henson, his daughter, many years later, after I drove my dad in the Econoline van to the hospital, because like my mom was basically freaking out but trying to hold, you know, cold compresses on his forehead and keep him calm. I drove at age like 16 to the hospital. And man, I mean, I almost lost my dad, you know, and it really, and they thought, the doctors at the fucking emergency room thought that it wasn't appendicitis. They thought he had kidney stones, and they were pounding on his fucking back for like hours with, like, you know, ultrasonic stuff to break up the kidney stones, which I did see through an ultrasound, but that wasn't so by pounding on his back, he probably could have gotten a couple, like $1 million or $2 million from like the malpractice suit, right? That's beside the point. You know, they're for profit, and doctors make mistakes, you know. Anyway, got way off on a tangent there. Let me go back to sculpting. I'm sorry. But anyway, Heather Henson's a fucking awesome lady, and I really don't know where I was going with that. Oh, except that I have a lot of respect for things like the Muppets, because they had a major influence on me. I love Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal is probably my favorite movie from when I was a child. I loved Kira. She could fly, and she was a lady Gelfling. And I don't know, I was like, that was my first exposure to, oh, well, women and men are pretty much the same, but we have different abilities. And her ability was to fly because she had wings. Anyway, my first exposure to feminism, I guess. And also, she's just really cute, a really cute character. And she had Fizzgig, her very aggressive doggy thing. Anyway, yeah. So what I'm getting at is essentially, it's important to know your roots and to, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, hello internet, I'm drunk and I'm fucking sculpting, and that's the way it should be, because I mean, we're in the future, might as well be, you know, barely lucid but somewhat like fidgeting around. I don't know. I'm cracking myself up, which is probably not a good sign. Alright, let's put some, well, I'll wait till I go yeah, I'm just going to put an ear on them. I'll let me make let me see what I got up here. Nope, not that. Yep. Bro. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, it's such a rude man on the internet stream tonight. He was so fucking rude. He said the word fucking and rude, and then he burped, or something like that, and not in that order. Okay, I'm going to put a back of a skull here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, now he's looking like the alien from like a Star Trek episode, or possibly Communion with Christopher Walken. Alright, that's not good. Let's undo all that. I love undo. Undo, like traditional sculpting, like if you don't have undo, which you don't because reality doesn't have an undo. Well, unless you can change the direction, time, and space. Like, so like, yeah, you don't have an undo when you're normally working, which sucks, usually. Okay, whoa! Oh, I've got elephantitis, Batman. Ah! Alright. That's close. So I'm gonna put an ear on it, not a ring. And nope. Ah, where's my? Okay, there's my box. Thank you, box. No, not that. Okay, yeah, I'll just block this out a little bit. So I really wish somebody was on the stream to say, "Hey Jim, you were talking about the story about Heather Henson and Jim Henson and the Muppets, and then you devolved into like a horrible like medical problem that nobody understood." And so that's why you should join me live on the stream, because I need to be rectified before I wreck myself, and I think I just wrecked any kind of logistically understandable diatribe. Like I'm free-forming, but not in the kind of like mumbly rap kind of way. I'm just like unintelligible maybe at this point. I don't know. That is a big cube. Reset applicator, change it to spherical, and blah. Nope. What happened to my spheres? There, give me my sphere. Okay, there we go. Oh man, I just love being able to move around like this. It's so cool. Alright. Except I'm fogging up like a motherfucker, so let me... I gotta buy some like anti-fog stuff that you use for like nope. Like, yeah, I definitely need to buy some anti-fog oil for like the same stuff we use for scuba diving down here. Yes, I will use my native-born Floridian methodology to overcome this fogging problem. Alright, hold on. I gotta get rid of the fog. Can't see what I'm doing. Ah! Whew. Hello, back again. Where is my drink? Drink has... Alright. Let's move. Alright, I've got nobody joining me on the thing, so, you know, I can only do this for so long before I begin to, like, break down and cry about the fact that nobody's paying attention to me. Why? Oh, poor Jim. But no, seriously, I think I actually need to start advertising or figuring out some methodology of getting my ass together. Gotta get my ass together. I mean, if I don't do it, like... This is not going to be worth it. I mean, like, nobody's going to come by. I can't talk to anybody. I feel very isolated right now, as it is. You know, being a single fucking bachelor, blah, blah, blah. But aside from that, like, no, I mean, it sucks. It sucks being out here by yourself with no guide rails, no idea of, like, oh, well, that's obviously going to work. You really don't know. It's definitely like a prequel to being an entrepreneur, because you can do all the research you want, but if your audience is not going to show up and nobody gives a shit, then what are you doing? You're losing money. You mortgage your house. The bank is going to collect on the fucking debt you just incurred because you thought you could have like a, I don't know, some kind of awesome bistro that you're opening up and nobody's coming to. So yeah, advertising. I guess kids, that's what I'm talking about. You gotta advertise, otherwise nobody fucking shows up. Whoa. Those are abs of awful. I've got butt abs. No, Batman, you do not have those abs. Alright, let's go in here. Ah, too bright. Why is it so fucking... Alright, I'm just gonna turn it to the side like that. And just pull a little bit. Oh, why? Okay. The problem with this is that you can't see what you're doing in real time. Yeah, I don't like working like after the fact. That kind of sucks. Okay. Hey everybody. Type in the chat and you can, okay, there were three. I fucking saw it. There were 3 people there and then they disappeared. And now it's just me again. Hello person. Alright. To celebrate the nanoseconds that I had 3 people watching me. Thanks for coming by. Here's to you. You're driving me to drink, you motherfuckers. I've already driven myself there, so it's not your fault. All right, back to whatever we have here. All right. And Mom, I'm sorry if you tuned in tonight and you're like, oh my God, my son is cursing like a sailor. Well, you raised... I learned it from watching you. You're a great mom, and you curse as well as I do. And Dad, I really wish you were as savvy as Mom is for the internet, but or you don't know because you're not watching this, likely. Alright, so what do we got here? We got gluteus, and we got a weird looking leg thing. Oh, sorry. Definitely hit the microphone there. Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm not talking. Here I am getting like really into the sculpture part of this. I'm not talking at all. So yeah, I didn't mean to go like completely radio silent there, but not a whole lot going through my mind right now, other than hey, I gotta sculpt this thing. But I am enjoying myself, so you know what? Fuck it. I mean, I don't have any curriculum that we're following. I'm just going with whatever feels right. And, you know, this would be the time when an audience would kind of help me, like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, maybe they wouldn't help me at that point, but... So I guess I should probably talk about something having to do with 3D printing. Because 3D printing is cool, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. So, let's see. For example, you can make a video game character and 3D print it. Well, okay. Everybody knows about that. It's not that easy, though. Because video game characters are made to have an outer shell, and whatever you don't see doesn't matter. So if you've got like an undercoating or like some clothing and stuff, if you don't see it and it doesn't appear on camera, there are no polygons that are actually in existence. So to model something in 3D, to actually have it 3D printed, you have to have what is known as a watertight. Hey, that ass is not watertight. No, actually, that ass is a little bulbous, but get in here. Like your models are basically not for video games. They're not solid models. They're basically something that's sort of like in all film. You only work with what you see, and you don't work with what you don't see. You don't actually add any detail to things that you don't see. So for that reason, a video game model is actually not is a poor candidate for having for modeling for 3D printing to make toys and statues and whatnot out of it. In addition to that, the 3D model itself, as a video game model, even the high res, is not necessarily always the best resolution or the best model to actually make a 3D print out of. And I'll explain that. The reason why is because when you do cuts into a surface, on camera, you know, in the video game or even in film, those cuts actually mean you don't want to cut too deeply, because if you do, it will look like you've gone to an extreme that you didn't need. In other words, it'll look like a wood cut versus finely sculpted marble sculpture. You don't want the woodcut look to your model. You want something that's going to, on film, translate as something soft and realistic. But when you go to 3D print it, you have to add a little more detail to things that would be normally perceived as, oh, that's fine for either a video game or a movie model. So yeah, so basically it's about adding some undercuts to things and adding more detail in areas where you essentially need to sort of reveal more sculptural form due to the light falling onto the character. So that's why it's kind of important to set up your lighting in Oculus Medium. On your scene, you can set your sun brightness, and actually if I turn it down a little bit, I won't get so much bloom, so that's a good idea. So I should turn it down. You turn the sun color to a different color, which actually is a little more realistic. Yeah, and background color is fine. Skybox? Ooh, skybox looks like clouds? Maybe. Alright, ground plane. Ground plane? You know what? Fuck it. Ground plane. We got it. Oh, look, there's a shadow. Which actually... Oh, wow. Now that I'm looking at it, shadow is a really good idea. Because... Okay. I'm leaving it this way. Fuck it. Set as default. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is kind of cool. So there's my fucking speaker? Look at that. That's cool. Wait. I can't read that. Place your desktop audio stream active on volume. Oh, that's cool. I can change the volume. See, look, medium people, they fucking know. They know, like, hey, when you're working in art, you like to listen to music. And there it is. But yeah, actually, this was a really good idea. I should have turned this on the whole time. Alright. I'm going to change my sun color to something a little more reddish. There. Alright. I'm feeling comfortable in this environment, so I'm going to keep it. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Ulnar needs to be, actually, this and that. Something needs to be fixed here, so let me move that. There we go. Yeah, it's a little better. I mean, it's so awesome being able to scale this, like, to work on little areas. That's too thin, so I'll just move that out a little bit. Move this over. Oh, no, no. All right. I think I hear my cat. Where's my cat? Oh, I thought you were sitting on my chair. Where'd you go? Oh, hey, Captain. You sit in my chair? What'd you call my chair? Oh, it's not. Alright, sorry. I got distracted by my cat. Happens. Alright, let's work on this beanpole looking leg here. And reset the tool applicator so it's the right size. Alright. Is that right? Maybe. Shave away some of this. There we go. So, being an exciting streamer who's always engaged with his audience, which is of 0 people, I'm not accomplishing that yet. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just get better at doing this stuff in real time, and then I'll talk to you guys after I get that figured out, because it, you know, to be a sculptor, like an, you know, like any artist is hard enough, and so I'm learning new tools, and I really appreciate you guys like coming in and watching this process of me learning new stuff, and you know, and you're getting to see me create something and like from scratch, which is kind of cool. I think it's cool. I don't know if it's actually cool, but I mean, you know, being in on the creative process of anything is really is a fun prospect. All right. I'm not sure if we're ready yet to go like fully. So what I'm thinking about doing is like taking away the symmetry aspect of this. So once I go non-symmetry, everything I do to one side is going to have to be like repeated or fixed on the other, which becomes very hard actually from a perspective of creating this shape. So I want to get it into a state that's as complete as necessary. Alright, I'm going to put a block along the bottom of the foot here. Nope, wrong way. There we go. That look good? Yeah, okay. Okay. Moving. Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. I gotta make the feet a little. Let's bring this out a little bit here. Alright, I'm going to start adding some clay for muscle. And this is the cool part about making things in a voxel system. Just sort of add the muscle, and you don't have to worry about topology as much as you have to worry about, like, oh, is that the right way of depicting a bicep or a pectoral muscle? Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit of a collarbone here. And let's do some neck stuff here. Let's make these neck a little bit beefier. Whoa, too much beef. Have a beef neck. That's better. And let's see, the muscle going up in this direction, so I'll just sort of Stick that right up in there. Whoa, that's a beefy muscle you got there, buddy. Alright, that's about right. So let's look at the muscles for... Okay, we need to add a little bit more of a whatever this is. I can't remember the name of that muscle right now. I've had too much to drink. Hey, shut up. Nope. So this needs a... Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, too much. Let's do that. One more pass at that. Oh man, this is so cool. All right. Bicep. Bicep needs to have a little more definition to it. So let's go back. Would it be nice if you could just like say, all right, hey, I want to make my body look like this, and I don't have to spend like 3 or 4 days. No, not that. But like, could you imagine going, here are the parameters that I would like my body to look like and function like. I'm just going to put a suit on that's going to make my muscles do exactly this. So just, you know, oh, not too much. That's way too much. Some people like that. I don't know what's wrong with those people, but... Okay. Alright, that's a better bicep. And let's see here. So we need to actually make this bigger because there's a joint right here. And then we have the fingers there. So we need to, there's tendons that go up to muscles that are right about there. And of course the other side of the arm. There's muscle, tendons. There should be one more right here. Yeah. Okay. How does it look far away? Far away, far away, far away, dog. Okay. Head looks bad. What's going on with the head? It's got sort of anime proportions to his head, so let's fix that. I mean, they're slightly anime because I actually find that on the Uncanny Valley world or level, that anime works really well for hiding that tendency to feel that something is wrong or dead about the object. Because if you put it in those extra proportions of anime style, you can overcome the revulsion factor of the fact that that looks close enough to be real, but I think it's dead. And dead always register as, you know, get the hell out of here. Like, basically from an evolutionary perspective, the Uncanny Valley actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because it's like, oh, that thing is a human, like me, and it's dead. It's not moving, so therefore, I have to get out of here. Because there's probably something here that killed that human over there. And so that's the crux of the underlying principle of why the Uncanny Valley exists is because humans over millions of years of evolution have the ability to process the concept of that thing is a danger to me because it is like me, but it is dead. It is no longer functioning. So therefore, as a process of my evolutionary path, I have to avoid things that are dead, like me. So dead like me is not good. Dead like me is to be avoided at all costs. In fact, well, anyway, I won't go any further than that, but I think that's enough to say. That's the reason why your sculpture looks weird, is because it looks too human, but not human enough to evoke a sense that it has agency. And you know, to me, that's a really interesting quandary too, because so much in AI and in like any kind of artificial intelligence, or the idea that a simulated and or a robotic thing has agency goes to the root of, well, why is that an important thing? Agency denotes that the thing might actually be sentient. But maybe we're not really concerned about sentience. Maybe we're concerned about whether or not the thing that we think might have agency is in fact dead or dying. And so that's actually the creepy factor, the factor that we can't really associate with those things that we think are dead or dying, because on an evolutionary perspective, we always avoid those things. We run away from them. That model is a damaged model that we need to never allow to come into our existence. So yeah, it might be a self. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. But I think it might be a self, like the selfish gene concept. It might actually just be like anything that doesn't quite look like it's alive, but it looks like it could be dead or approaching death. Those things are to be avoided and negated in the popular realm. But there's also a certain aspect of, oh, but that's interesting. And so that interesting factor is, I think, maybe another part of evolutionary structure, which is to find out what went wrong. What are you doing, cat? Anyway, to find out what went wrong, the investigative nature of our evolutionary process is to as a species find out, well, how do we fix that? How do we overcome this adversity so that we don't end up like our brethren? So, I don't know. It's interesting stuff, I think. All right. How do you look on the overall scale? It's getting there, but needs help. It's interesting. I don't know. Oh, butt's not right at all. Let's fix that. Cat, what are you doing in that box? You better not be peeing in there. Oh God, what happened? No. Let's go to that block again. I remember there being another tool, or is that flatten? Flatten can be kind of like what I was just doing. It's kind of like having a revolution or a Dremel as a bit on it. I'm not sure if I really like it actually. Oof. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. That sucks. Alright, I gotta redraw that. Cool thing about voxels is you can just sort of come back into it and not worry about topology. Because if you did that like as a even as a Z remesh, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, looks like I need to make the legs longer. And that's about it, really. Crotch a little bit further up in there, so let's do that. I think that's close to... Alright, those feet are not big enough, and the hands are too large. There's so many issues. Alright, it's good to get these down and figure out like what's going wrong with the character. Neck is way too thick. Needs to have that kind of thing going on there. I really wish there was a way of doing like masking in this program. So you can actually in ZBrush you can actually mask out an area. So like I could say this side over here, I want that to be not touchable. This side over here, I want to drag it over without affecting this side. And I can do that, but it's requiring a little bit more finesse. All right. Another drink would be good. Let's check that out. Ah. All right. Oh, his proportions are not quite right in the legs. Let's fix that. Better. All right, let's do some measurement here. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think I'm happy with this so far. Probably need some adjustments and probably need to be a little more sober before I come back to looking at it, but I'm going to save this and call it a night. There you go. There we go. Seriously, I just fucking replaced the left controller battery. That's interesting. Maybe it was fine. The battery industrial complex wants me to... Dude, I just replaced the fucking battery in the left controller. You lie. Alright. Oh, and the left controller battery is dead. Okay, well that's weird because I just freaking replaced it. That's really weird. All right, I'm gonna call it a night. I mean, these guys are cool. They're chilling. They look okay. It's 11:35, and I started at almost 10. So roughly, I can do math. An hour and a half ish. All right, well, thanks for joining me. I'm gonna finish this up, and I'll just basically save it, and we'll start again next week. Hopefully I'll finish this to the point where it can be printed out. And if any of you like to see like what you see, please follow me on Twitch TV Jim and Ziello, or on YouTube Jim and Ziello. I'm under unicronstudios.com. That's unicronstudios.com. So if you come to my website, you can buy some cool shit. Sign up for my mailing list. I think I got something like that on there. Anyway, yeah, I'll be hopefully streaming again soon next week. Monday, Modeling Mondays with Jim on Unicron Studios. And my hand doesn't work anymore. All right, I'm going to get out of VR and go back and turn off everything. So thanks for joining. Bye.